This is the Mad Church Disease Podcast with your host, Marcellus McMillan. They don't rest, so neither do we. Sit back and listen or call the show. And now, here's your host, Marcellus McMillan.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Hopefully you guys can hear me and hear me well. I'll know if you can hear me in a second because I'll hear it across the room. Sorry for this little camera thing. I don't know what's going on here, but I know you guys can hear me now, so that's good. What's up, party people in the place to be? I am so grateful that you are joining me tonight on tonight's broadcast. Let me see if I can bring this camera down a bit. There we go. I want to thank all of you for joining me on tonight. It is going to be another very interesting podcast. We have a lot of things to cover. Well, we have only a couple of stories that I want to talk about tonight. But in the meantime, I want to let you guys know I'm going to be dropping a video about 15 minutes after this live goes off in regards to Pastor Marvin Winans. I don't know if the other vloggers have even come out with this video, but I'm going to be talking about the open rebuke that his former armor bearer actually rebuked him and talked about some of the things that I've talked about. And so I definitely want you guys to be able to see that. And I'm going to be posting that video as soon as this live goes off. And so hopefully, you know, it'll make its rounds and everybody will be able to get it, especially if they get their notifications. You guys will, if you turned on the bell notification, you're going to get all of the notifications. But let me just say hello to everybody in this chat tonight. Let's start with Mary Furch, Jacqueline Vines, who is a member. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for all of your support to the channel. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. It just allows me and affords me the opportunity to keep making great videos and keep talking about stuff that these folks don't want me to talk about. Barbara Warren, thank you so very much. Moni No Love, again, thank you, Moni, for all your love and support that you give me at the Mad Church Disease channel. I don't count it lightly. I really do appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you personally to you, Moni No Love. Thank you so much for your support. Rita, Rochelle, Barbara, let me see your transcripts. James, what's up, James? Speak Your Truth with Roxanne, Ava Collier. What was said? I see that you put up that Cicely Tyson just passed away. Somebody make sure y'all verify that for me before I go to saying that. So please make sure you let me know. But Rochelle, I definitely understand that. Absolutely. So Rochelle, I definitely get that sentiment and that thought as well. Teresa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on today's broadcast. Let me see who else is in here. Rodney, what's up, Rodney? Thank you for joining me, Rodney. I appreciate that. Gail, thank you so much. To the 103 of you that are already watching tonight, thank y'all so much. Roxanne is a new member. Thank you so much, Roxanne, for your membership. I really do appreciate it. I love and appreciate you. You know I do. I have a lot of things to tell you. The Understanding. What's up? What's up? Okay. Cicely Tyson has passed away. My goodness gracious. My Lord. I hope it wasn't COVID related. But I do love Cicely Tyson. She's one of those women that, you know, you just have to take your hat off to. So let me just do my normal stuff here before I get into anything. Wow. Cicely Tyson. Wow. But let me just say to all of you that are first joining the broadcast, this is not a church show, but this is a show about church. We discuss all sorts of church related issues, and we do that in an open dialogue form. This is not Bible study. We didn't come over here to have Bible study. We came over here to have conversation. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to open the phone lines later. You have more than a right to call in and get your whatever you'd like to say, your comments and sentiments off your mind, off your, you know, whatever you need to discuss, you can actually discuss that as well. All right. Couple of things. For those of you that have been asking about the YouTube course, I have actually updated some information and made it a little bit smoother for all of you guys to get the information on the YouTube course and so forth, because so many people have been asking me some questions about it, and hopefully I'll be able to put the links in here in a minute for you, but because for some odd reason I was just a little busy today, and I just got off of Kim's live. Lord have mercy, Kim over there, they got a whole 147,000 women that's going after one one man. If you didn't watch Kim's program, y'all be able to go back and watch that show. Lord have mercy, that show right there was something else. But let me see if I can put this in here. Oh, you know what? I don't have to do it that way. I don't have to do it that way. I think I got it right here. I don't know why I didn't do that. But if you're interested, of course, in learning how to grow your YouTube channel, if you want to grow your channel, there's two things that you're going to get access to. You're going to get access to a brand new course that I'm developing. Also, you guys, you'll be able to come into a private Facebook group that we share, those who have YouTube channels, and you'll be able to learn some other stuff, and I'll be able to feed off of you guys in all of that stuff. So make sure. Danielle, well, I'm glad you're awake and you're going to be here with me. And the other day we tested out our new members only software, where we're going to be having our new members only meetups. That's going to be amazing. You guys will be able to literally come into a members area and just, it's going to be amazing. If you're talking about a member to the channel, if you look next to the subscribe button, I don't know if you're on an iPhone, because apparently there's some iPhone issues, of course, with something, but that's right next to the subscribe button on YouTube. If you're talking about the course, excuse me, I'm going to put a link in there for you guys. You guys will be able to go to the link that I just put into the chat, and that will help you to register. I'm giving you a free SEO course on teaching you how to maximize and get more views on your channel. The link I just put in there is a free workshop that you can watch. I'm going to give you some more information on SEO. I know Roxanne said that she learned some stuff, and a lot of people that have been coming by the channel, y'all have told me y'all have learned some stuff. So you can go there as soon as you register for that, you get the information immediately. So there's no waiting around for it. Everything has already been set in place for you. So everything's done. All right. I believe that concludes my announcements. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Erica Campbell, Tyler Perry, and the Hillsong Church debacle. Shout out to Old Lady Church Blog, who's been keeping me abreast of some stuff that's been going on. Also, I'm going to be releasing a video 15 minutes after we get off of this live on an open rebuke that Marvin Wine has received from his former armor bearer. So make sure you turn your notifications on. You do not want to miss that particular video because I gave, of course, some commentary to that. And I'm going to be trying to upload more of those commentary type videos on the channel. I'm going to do some testing, but y'all got to support it and let me see that you guys will watch them. And then that lets me know if I need to continue those types of videos. And that's it. And I'm actually Barbara, I don't think you can. I think I can make you a member in my Buy Me a Coffee, Barbara, if you send me your email address. I don't know how that works. I don't, but you don't have to use PayPal if you want to become a member or something. I don't know how they're doing that over there. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't know. I just set it up. I don't know what they're doing over there. I just did it so that people could support the channel if they wanted to, but I don't know. And Barbara, maybe I don't understand your question, so maybe you can give me a better understanding of your actual question, and then I'll make a decision on what you're talking about, because I really don't know. I'm not understanding. What's good, AT Mac? We're going to be talking about Tyler Perry, and I saw your comment earlier, but I didn't have a chance to respond to your comment. So if nobody has any questions or anything, let's get into tonight's program. I'm going to open up the phone lines for you guys in a minute. What do I want to talk about first? Now, I know this story that I talk about, it seems like I'm always talking about this one dude, and he just keeps coming back up, and up. Well, apparently, the Hillsong Church over there in New York, this is Pastor Carl Lentz. You guys know I've been talking about this guy for weeks because so much stuff has been going on, and people are still talking about this dude and some of the stuff that they were doing over there at Hillsong Church. Well, let me talk about what was said, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll deal with it. It seems that months on the heels of his sex scandal that rocked the Hillsong Church in New York, Hillsong Church is now facing allegations of financial abuse as a number of former members accuse pastors of splurging tithe money on lavish expenses. Yeah, what else is new? You guys ain't been paying attention. Former members of the church, including Hillsong LA service pastor Nicole Herman, told the New York Post that many pastors at Hillsong New York frequently use tithe money, loaded a debit-like PEX prepaid expense cards on things like expensive restaurants, meals, designer clothes, and weekly manicures while living in high-priced buildings in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Herman, who left the church 2 years ago, told the publication that she personally loaded funds onto the PBX cards as directed by the leaders. I was instructed to fill them, said Herman, who helped found Hillsong's California branch in 2013. We had a team count the tithes after every service, and they would allocate a certain amount of money to be loaded onto the PEX cards. The cards, which are reloadable, were given to the volunteers to make purchases from the church and pastor, said Herman. Church staff, like the former Hillsong New York pastor Carl Lentz, who was fired last November over his leadership issues and moral failures, including being unfaithful to his wife, also received their own Hillsong credit cards. So not only did they have reloadable cards, but they also had their own credit cards. Herman said her ex-husband was the CFO for Hillsong LA. I can't seem to talk today. So everything on the PEX cards had to be refilled through him. She said none of that money was coming from anywhere else. The Christian Post is actually reporting on this story as well. Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So let's deal with this. First of all, Pastor Carl Lentz and these people spending the tithe money. What else is new? Are y'all just now paying attention? Have y'all not been listening for the last several years? When other people and vloggers have been coming out here and telling y'all that you're getting taken advantage of as it relates to for the tithe money. I don't understand why this is news. I really don't. I don't understand why folks have not yet understood that the way the church is set up. Okay, you all, let me break some things down for y'all tonight. Hopefully I don't get in no trouble. Let me break some things down for y'all tonight. When it comes to the 501c3, and by the way, I do sit on the board of several nonprofits. Now, that doesn't mean my nonprofits are set up this way, but I need for y'all to understand, if you have the right kind of team, they set things up properly. If not, I can just talk about things that I have seen with some other churches and some other organizations, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. The way the nonprofit is set up on a 501c3, the way the system is set up, you can literally pay the pastor $1 as far as a salary is concerned. The way pastors are able to get away with other things is they are able to write it into their perks and their expenses. As a nonprofit, the church actually can purchase cars, the church can purchase homes. They refer to those as parsonages. Your pastor can have a clothing allowance. He can have all sorts of allowances. He can have a corporate credit card, and all of those things are expensed to the church. The church is actually paying for those things, and he is actually able to live off of those things tax-free. Now, I need for you all to understand something. There are churches whose pastors have American Express cards that are limitless. They could literally take the American Express card and go purchase a house if they wanted to. Literally. They're literally limitless. And there are a lot of preachers and pastors who take advantage of this. And Carl Lentz and these folks in New York are really no different. And what people need to understand as it relates to these nonprofits and these churches is this is something that has happened for umpteen years. Now, many of you may not know this, but the reason why the law was changed, I believe it was around 1980 something, or it might be 1970 something. There was a man out here in California who has since passed away, and his wife has taken over his church, but I can't think of his name right now. He used to smoke cigars. He's a blonde haired white guy. And I'm so sorry I can't seem to get his name right now. But he used to smoke cigars. Some of you might have seen him. He used to come on late at night. He smoked cigars, and he actually sued the government back in the 80s. And he sued the government because the government was coming at him and, you know, for taxes and stuff. And they changed the entire law in like the 80s so that these churches could get away with some of the stuff that they're getting away with. It didn't always used to be that the way that it is now. And I cannot remember that man's name. Gosh, dog it. Oh, maybe it'll come to my remembrance later. But in like 1983, the law was changed. And so when they changed the law, it allowed churches and a lot of these organizations to start living you know, in these parsonages and all of these other things, but they changed the wording of the law so that the churches could get away with it. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of people think, well, you know, well, not my pastor because my church isn't that big. Let me explain something to you. The same system that the large church works off of is the same system that your storefront church works off of. And just because your pastor is doing it on a smaller scale does not mean that he's not doing it. Because when a lot of people come to this channel and they come in here and they have these conversations with me, they're always like, well, Marcellus, not my pastor. My pastor is never doing that. He helps and he feeds the homeless and he does this and he does that. I don't care if your pastor gives away turkeys every year. Your pastor is still living under the system of how this 501c3 and all of this stuff is set up, which means it gives him the opportunity and the freedom to do the same things that the larger churches are doing. Now, if your pastor doesn't have the right team, or he doesn't understand how far he can go with the law, doesn't necessarily mean that he can't. Many of you don't know there was a certain blogger, very popular vlogger, and I called into his show a couple of times, and I'm not going to say his name here, but I went on his show one time and I was talking to him when Pastor Roy Brown, and those folks were arguing over his ex-wife being thrown out of her church. And I called into the program and I told them, I said, listen here, you all. I said, just based on what you all are telling me as far as how the finances in the church is being run, these people need to get off of this here internet and stop running off at the mouth, because if they don't, somebody's going to go to jail, because a lot of these churches do not have their paperwork in order as it relates to their 501c3. If the government ever just decided to pull back the covers and really investigate where these people spend their money, they would be truly shocked and surprised. And another thing is they wouldn't be giving them no dang on PPP loan. If the government understood that people like Carl Lentz in this church, in this Hillsong church in New York, if people understood that these people have limitless reloadable credit cards that they could go and swipe and do whatever it is that they wanted to do. It wasn't George Burns, Connie. It was another pastor, preacher. I just can't think of his name right now. But oh my God. I forget his name. His wife is doing all of the preaching now, and they're in LA. They're in California because he sued the government, and I can't remember his name right now. But it'll come to me, and I'll put it on the Mad Church Disease Facebook page so you guys will know who I'm talking about. But you know, what people don't understand is these people have limitless amounts of funds. And Dr. Gene Scott, that is correct. Pamela, thank you. It was Dr. Gene Scott. Thank you so much, Pamela. That is his name. Thank you. Dr. Gene Scott sued the government. And when the lawsuit happened between Dr. Gene Scott and the government, that's what changed everything, was Dr. Gene Scott and the government. When Dr. Scott sued them, everything changed. Now what people don't understand about Dr. Scott as well, Dr. Scott was so funny, Gene. Sometimes I would just watch Dr. Scott on the program because Dr. Scott was hilarious. because he was the only person I know would smoke a cigar, sit there and read from the Bible. And if you wasn't donating fast enough, he'd start yelling and cussing at you. Get on the phone and give me that money. I've been sitting here, gosh darn it, and y'all ain't sent me no money. Send me the money. And I ain't gonna say another word until you send me some money. Get on the phone. And I mean, the people would get the calling and the phone would start ringing, and I would just be cracking up at home, and I would be laughing because I could not believe that this rude man, this ridiculously rude dude, would be on TV yelling at these people, but the people would be giving the money, and it used to crack me up. But anyway, that's a side note. But Dr. G. Scott was the reason why all of those laws changed, and you guys can actually Google the lawsuit that he fought with the government, and I believe it was in 1980 something. And when that happened, everything just shifted and everything changed. I mean, everything changed. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these preachers and pastors can get away with these parsonages and how they spend the money. And me personally, I think that they actually need to change the law again. And they need to change the law because so many of these preachers and so many of these pastors are abusing the law, and they're getting away with stuff that they should not be able to get away with. There is no reason that Kenneth Copeland should be able to buy a fleet of airplanes, put that under the name of the ministry. He is the only one that flies in those airplanes. He is the only one that's going anywhere in those planes. He ain't doing nothing but flying around. And when he dies or when something happens, his wife then becomes the owner of everything. And then if they don't will it to a relative, and they just keep passing the wealth down from generation to generation. And that's all they're doing. They're just getting rich and they're passing the money down. And at the same time, they're getting these prepaid phone call cards. Now, let me say something about this Carl Lentz thing. I'm going to make sure that I bring this out. This is a culture that was created in the church community and in New York. And I keep trying to tell anybody, when there's a whole lot of money involved, there will always be sex, there will always be drugs, and there will always be rock and roll. It's no different from the people in the world and the people in the church. And here's the reason why. Because the people in the world are human beings, and the people in the church are human beings. And the people in the church can be corrupted just as much as the people in the world can be corrupted. Okay? Simple as that. We need 25 likes. Can y'all please hit the like button? Where y'all got me sitting on these likes? Please let me be over 100, please. Please let me be over 100 likes. I should already be over 100. I got almost 230 of you watching me live right now. Please make sure y'all hit the like button. Now listen here. The same people in the church and in the world, and it is the human condition that suffers, that these people suffer from, and they're always going to suffer from the human condition because they're in flesh. And if you don't learn to have a good prayer life, if you don't learn to humble yourself, you will be subject to all sorts of things. I'm a man. I'm human just like anybody else, and this is another reason. Was I going to talk about this tonight? Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to get to that later. I don't understand these people who love the Lord and who always trying to act like you're a grown man and you trying to act like, breast and booty, that you're oblivious to breast and booty. No, I see breast and booty just like any other dude. Just because I love the Lord, I praise God and thank God, don't mean I don't see nipples and I can't see a big fat tail. I don't understand that. And I don't understand the logic behind people who try to play that game. And, a lot of women get uncomfortable when men start talking like this, especially those of us who are, saved men. It just makes them uncomfortable. Well, you got to pull your flesh under subjection. And I'm going to get to all of this stuff here in a minute. But listen here, as I don't care how saved you are. And this is what people need to understand. And they need to stop and get out of this euphoric place that y'all got in your mind. I don't care how saved you are. You're going to see some brothers, you're going to see some breasts, and you're going to see some tail that gets your attention. I don't even care if you're married. You just need to know what tail belongs to you and what tail don't belong to you. But you can recognize tail. Oh, come on up in here. Don't make me Shanama around here. Don't make me Shanama, because y'all don't think I'm spiritual unless I start speaking in some tongue. But he can see a breast too. Hondo. Hey, that's my new tongue. He can see a breast too. Look, he can see an ass too. I'm just saying. And the people at the culture of church, and these people are trying to pretend like they don't understand basic human things. Just because this man is in church and these people are in church does not mean that they're not going to be subject to the pride of life. They're going to be subject to the same things that everybody else is subject to. Bye, Nancy. Bye, Nancy. You leaving me, Nancy? It's so early. But, it's amazing to me. It's so amazing to me that these people pretend like they can't see stuff. I'm messing with you, Nancy. I'm messing. But it's just crazy to me. And these people, and Pastor Carl Lentz, and these people over here in New York, y'all stop pretending like y'all don't know that y'all was funding y'all pastor's lifestyle. You know that. This man is having dinner with Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez and all of these other people. And it amazes me that you all didn't understand or didn't recognize how you guys were building this man up to cause this man to fail. And it amazes me. It amazes me that y'all have those types of positions. But the church in itself has been under these, new rules. And let me just give you a little breakdown here as well about this. I used to sit on the board of a church, and sitting on the board of this church, let me tell y'all something. The pastor's salary, I think, was something like $17,000, but his perks, everything I named to you, this brother had clothing allowance, food allowance, every kind of allowance you could think about. And because he wanted his own home, they gave him a parsonage allowance, because you have a certain amount of money that you could give him to cover. So pretty much he owned the house, but the church was like paying for it. I mean, it was ridiculous. And when I got to the board and I started looking at the stuff and how things were going, I was like, oh no, we're going to have to change some of this. First of all, you need to have a set salary, and we need to determine what that is based on the amount of members and the folks that you have. Let me tell y'all something. I know churches that have 100 members and the pastor's salary is like 30 and 40 and like $50,000 a year. You got 100 people showing up here, but y'all ain't giving that kind of money. The church is barely making it, barely cutting it even, and the pastor's getting a $50,000 salary. It don't make no kind of sense. But these are the laws, and it's legal for them to do it. And Pastor Carl Lentz and all of these other preachers that are having these expense cards and all of this other stuff, it is what it is. Just understand that people have been trying to educate the church and educate you folks about this for years. And I'm going to come out with another video probably in a couple of days here. And I'm going to explain this even further, and I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to let you guys see that other guy testify in with that lawyer. Oh, well, I know they can't stand me, Roxanne, but it is the truth. The truth is just the truth. And it ain't going to never be a lie. That other guy that was sleeping with Vicky Yowie, he had to testify. And I know y'all have probably seen the videos on the internet, but I actually want to go into a little bit of detail and talk a little bit more about those videos and his video and give some commentary to it, because people need to understand. When the lawyer asked him, hey, you bought a $3,000 belt. And he was like, yeah, but I don't do that all the time. And, I sweat out my clothes, and because he had a clothing allowance. And she says, yeah, but you going into all of these expensive stores and you buy $2,000 belts. And he, well, yeah, because I needed a new belt. I mean, he said it so nonchalant, like it wasn't nothing. And you all need to understand, it's perfectly legal. You're funding these people's lifestyles. And I started talking to the Lord about this a long time ago. And I kept saying, God, how is this right where the preacher is living like this? The preacher's got his kids go to private school. You can't even get your kid on a private bus. He's driving around and all of this stuff. And I'm not saying all the pastors are doing it, but understand something. All of the pastors have the potential to do it because of the way that the laws are written. And even though they're not doing it on a larger scale, they're most certainly doing it on a smaller scale. Let me read what somebody was saying here. Latanya Peoples, nobody hurt me in the church. And I hate for you all to come here. Every time I start talking like this, the first thing that folks do is tell me, who hurt you? Didn't nobody hurt me. I'm a grown man. I'm almost 50 years old. Latanya, nobody hurt me. I would not allow anybody to hurt me. I'm just having a conversation. We're talking. Okay, that's all we're doing. We're having conversation. But the stuff that I'm saying is legitimate. Understand this, Latanya. Please understand what I'm saying. The only reason why people keep hollering about somebody got hurt in church is because that's dismissive. And you want to dismiss what I'm saying because you don't want to deal with the reality of what I'm saying. I will get to what Tyler Perry said in a minute, but you need to be patient and you need to wait. Or you can just come back and watch the replay and speed through it until I get there. Okay? Thank you so much. And I know why people came. Yet I wonder if someone had hurt you in church, or are you just shining the light on the wrong? No, I shine the light on the good and the bad. If someone please just adjust a habit to saying these fake church and not all church. Let me say something here, Latanya, and you need to listen. Listen with your ears. Listen to me with your ears, Latanya. I have said it a million times that it's not all churches, but all churches have the potential to do what the larger churches are doing because of the way that the laws are written. You didn't understand what I just said? Could you not get what I just said? Every church has the potential to do what these preachers are doing. Your church can just do it on a smaller scale if your church is not larger. That's all I'm saying. I'm just bringing the light to the information. That's all. And I'm bringing the information. See, here's what I've learned. Church people hate when you expose their foolishness. And they hate when you tell the truth about what's going on in the institutional church, because you don't get to live under the tyranny of continuing that type of behavior. And it frustrates me when people come to my channel and then you keep talking about, oh, well, did somebody hurt me? No, nobody hurt me. I'm a grown man. If you did something to me, I know how to address you, and I know how to address you well. And if you stick around this here channel, you're going to learn that I know how to address you very well. So the mere fact that somebody hurt you, y'all need to grow up and y'all need to stop with all of this church hurt, shenanigans. It's ridiculous and it's so dismissive. Focus on the information that is being presented to you, have a real conversation, and then deal with it based upon the information that is being presented to you. Otherwise, shut the hell up. Moving on. Let me go on before You done made me mad. Done made me mad. Now I'm going in the order I was going in. That's the Carl Lentz story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. There was something else that I wanted to let me read something else about this Carl Lentz story before I go on, because there's another thing I want to talk about. Now, see, here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this. Here's why I want to talk about this. Other former Hillsong congregants like Jenna Babbitt, who's 27 years old, began attending the Hillsong New York church in August of 2011. She says she provided child care services for several pastors, including Reed and Jess Bogard, who resigned from the Dallas branch of the church earlier this year. She said she was giving a PEX card to purchase food for the kids she cared for, but was recently contacted by lawyers involved in the Internal Revenue investigation. So they're being investigated by the Internal Revenue Service. And the reason why the IRS is investigating them is because of the bullshit that they be doing. And I'm sorry, some of y'all might have to turn off, because when I read comments like that church hurt thing, that thing just pisses me off. I can't stand that. And these folks just come over here with this foolishness all the time. Did somebody hurt you? Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. I'm just trying to shine light on something. And I understand that not all churches do it. Would you stop making the same stupid ass point? I done said it a million times that not all church people and not all church do it. Listen, sit back and shut up and listen before you keep repeating yourself like Pablam's doll. I know not every church does it, you dummy, but I just told you that everybody has the potential to do it. Duh, that's what I said, and that's what I meant. Jesus Christ. This woman also said that she was providing child care to the church and she wasn't even getting paid. She's actually suing the church because the church was paying her through a PBX card. She wasn't even getting no real income from the church, even though she was providing child care to the pastors. Now she should be church hurt. She's probably church hurt. You should probably go find her on YouTube or Facebook and ask her if she church hurt. Go ask her. Don't come over here asking me. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Don't come over here with this foolishness. Oh, God, that is so funny to me. I'm sorry for laughing, but that is funny as hell. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I get so frustrated sometimes. You know, people is something else. You come over here, I'm having a conversation about stuff, and you go talk about who hurt me. Really? Really? What are you? 12? What are you, 2? That is the funniest shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, God, that's funny. That is funny. That's funny. I don't care what nobody say. That's funny as hell. You're going to come over here. And it's a funny thing to me is it's like their go-to point. It's always their go-to point. Oh, you have church hurt. Who has church hurt? I'm just having a conversation. Wait, nobody got no, LaTanya. LaTanya, I'm sorry. Look here, LaTanya. Charge it to my head, not my heart. It irritates me. That church hurt thing. That thing irritates me to no end, LaTanya, for real, because that's what church people do. They always want to put you in a label you and put you in a box so they can define you and dismiss you. And what I'm trying to tell you is don't come over here and listen to this stuff thinking I'm trying to just attack the church. I'm shining the light on their foolishness. Oh, yes, I am. And I don't apologize for that, not one bit. I don't apologize for it one bit. If you got a sacred cow and you think I'm coming over here to save your sacred cow on the Mad Church Disease channel, it's called Mad Church Disease. That's why the channel's called Mad Church Disease. It ain't called Flowery Church of Ease. It's called Mad Church Disease. I'm just saying. Brandon Walker, who was 28, who also helped the Bogarts plant the Hillsong Dallas Church in 2019, said he witnessed a lot of toxic activity, including a $1,100 a day Airbnb rentals. So $1,100 for one day Airbnb rentals is what these folks were spending. There's a lot of eating out and a lot of Airbnbs, very nice Airbnbs, he said. It's rented for the guests and the staff who were between homes. Walker recalled one day while he was out with Jess Bogart and 2 of his friends, she bought them matching $100 jackets before taking them out to dinner at a pretty nice, pretty expensive Italian restaurant. So I just shouldn't even talk about this, huh? I shouldn't say nothing. We shouldn't have a conversation. Okay, whatever. I think the bill was around $600 or $700, he says. I was just like, wow. Wow, she just dropped over $1,000 for no reason. He also noted that when money was used on volunteers, it was done to manipulate them. It was done to manipulate them. It was done to manipulate them. He said, I was paid once for a job, Walker said, recalling how Reed Bogart once gave him $600 as a favor when he needed some cash. That's a tactic a lot of these pastors use to keep their secrets, he charged, buying us expensive gifts, giving us money like, I got your back, so when I need you to have my back, this is something that I need for you to remember. Hello? Hello? I've been saying it for years. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. I don't play these games. Y'all ain't gonna have me over here acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. I ain't like these other vloggers. I didn't come to just sit here and give you guys somebody's gossip. That ain't what I do over here. I actually have commentary and I actually talk about what's actually going on in the institution and why we're doing what we're doing. We need to have conversations about that. That's what we need to have conversations about. All right, moving on. The story that y'all want me to get to, LaTanya. LaTanya, you gonna dip on me after I talk about Tyler? You ready to dip on me, LaTanya? Don't dip on me. All right, here we go. Oh, Lord. Tyler Perry's upset with the black church. Y'all want to know why Tyler Perry's upset? Tyler Perry says that the black church needs to be doing more when it comes to this COVID-19 crisis and the crisis in the black community. It's been reported that Tyler Perry received both doses of the COVID-19 vaccination and decided to use his experience to come to inform those who remain skeptical, especially those within the black community. He said during an interview, Perry voiced his concern with the black church and how extremely disappointed he is with the church. To this point, he says, it's almost heartbreaking. And I in my quote, he says, it's heartbreaking on so many levels, said Perry, looking at the church and what it means to be a church, to be there for people. It means having the doors open. It means feeding people. It means getting COVID testing. It means getting vaccines done at church. He says being the church means all those things. And if the church is not stepping up to meet those needs, then what good are you? Perry added, to stand in a pulpit and just preach about God and Jesus, and he is going to make a way when you have the opportunity and you have the ability to help somebody and you don't. What good are you? This Tyler Perry saying, now wait a minute. This Tyler Perry, this Mandia got a gun. Oh, I know I didn't say that right, because I know that's not the name of one of his programs. What's one of his programs? My Lady of a Mad Lady, Diary of a Mad Lady. What's the other stuff he be doing? You know, the old lady with the wig. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The old lady with the wig. I don't watch his stuff, so I don't know the names of the stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Diary of a Mad. Was it? What did he do? Diary of a Mad Black Woman or something? Wasn't that him? Somebody tell me in the comments. I think he did Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I think so. Oh, was that TD Jakes? Okay, let me see transcripts. Okay, yeah. I don't be knowing what these folks be doing. A man in a wig. I ain't got time. All right, let's move on. All right. So somebody said bad reactions. No. Okay. All right. So he says to stand in the pulpit and just preach about God and Jesus, and he's going to make a way when you have the opportunity and you have the ability to help somebody and you don't. What good are you? Perry did, however, acknowledge, hang on, because he did acknowledge some other stuff, because I know y'all normally just hear the first thing that people say and y'all don't hang on to the whole statement. Hold on. Perry did, however, acknowledge that there are many churches who are doing the right thing. Ding, ding, ding. So he's not saying all churches and the whole black church. He's talking about the black church that don't step up and that doesn't do anything. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this a little bit. Many black people in the black community are struggling when it comes to their health and mental health as well as physical health. And this is something that I think the institutional church really could help out in a major way. If all black churches had personal gyms located on their property, right, in the basement, like after service, y'all fold up the treadmills and put them up against the wall. Just a thought. And you had people to be able to come to those workout rooms and workout things and work out for free without having to pay for it, that your tithes and your offerings actually covered you coming and walking on the treadmill for an hour every day. Okay, I'm just saying, how much would that affect the black community if black people and the churches would put their money into things that we could actually change our community? Because health wise, this COVID crisis is affecting more black people than it is every other race of people. Black, brown people, and non-European people are the ones who are really the ones who are taking the brunt of this situation. Tyler Perry makes a very pivotal point. What good is the institutional church if the institutional church is not actually doing what Jesus actually taught the institutional church to be and to do? And I think it's a very valid point, and I think it is a tremendous, good question. And I don't think that he has church hurt because he's asking this question. I don't know every time why I ask a question, everybody always thinks I'm church hurt. Let me tell y'all something. Tyler has a very valid point. I have a very valid point. If the institutional church, and I'm telling y'all, when y'all see this video that I put out here, when this show goes off, Marvin Winans has been building a church for the last 10 to 15 years. And these people done come over to my channel trying to convince me that he done finished building the building. And I done found out through another one of his members that they still ain't in the building yet. He's spending millions of dollars in Detroit. Detroit is one of the most depressed areas in our country. This man has been building this church for I don't know how long, and he is building it in the most dilapidated area and neighborhood. The whole neighborhood looks like The Wire. If you guys ever remember The Wire, when the little hoppers was like jumping out of the buildings and the abandoned buildings, and they was like dragging murdered bodies into the building, and then putting nails into it, and then they were going about their business. Well, that's kind of what these people are doing. That's what Marvin Winans is putting in the city of Detroit. He actually is building a monstrosity while everything around the church is like raggedy. The buildings is torn down. The buildings is burned down, but his church is the only beacon, the only thing. And I mean, it is huge. You wait till you see this. And I said to myself, don't he know if he put 30 or 40 or 50 million dollars into the community and actually put in work programs and went to businesses and companies and actually negotiated with those businesses and companies and the mayor of the city to say, hey, if we can convince these people to come into our community, will you give these people some tax breaks so that they can actually hire the members of my church? And so it will stimulate the economy for the people that are in my community. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Do not play with me. Do not play with me. This is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. I sit on the board of nonprofits. I sit on an organization. I can go into the mayor's office and have a conversation with the dadgum mayor. If I look here, I can literally, if I put this thing on pause for a minute, I got an accommodation for the mayor sitting over here in the corner that I can show y'all that was given to me and signed to me by the mayor of my city. Don't play with me. I know what I'm talking about. You want to play with me? I'll put this camera. I'll take this camera off. Y'all want me to put this camera off and go grab it? I'll go grab it. Because y'all know how I am. I have an accommodation sitting over here. I got accommodation sitting over here. If you the pastor and you the folks, somebody say, I want to see it. Yours truly, you want to see it? Y'all want to see it? Hold on. I'm going to go get it. just because I just want other people to know I have a whole life. Okay. So y'all hang on. Y'all going to hang on for me a minute. Hold on. Okay. Y'all see this big ass? Oh my God. Y'all see this big ass award? And it's got a little bit of dust because I had it in the corner. Y'all see this big ass award that's got my name on it? And y'all see what it said? It says board member. And it is signed by the mayor of my city. You see that? That is the mayor right there. Okay. All right. Just thought I'd grab that. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. All right. I know what I'm talking about. You can't, if you want to invest in a community, if you want to invest in an infrastructure of your city, you don't go spending millions of dollars and building up some monstrosity for 10, 15, 20 years. You know, I don't play those kind of games. And this is ridiculous. This makes no kind of sense whatsoever. And Tyler Perry is most certainly correct for asking the question, what good are you if you're not going to be able to do COVID testing and you're not going to be able to get the services and the things to the people that they need? Roxanne, I'm going to put out a video about 5 to 10 minutes after this live goes off. So y'all got to make sure you go like and subscribe to the channel and turn on your darn bell notifications, because I got videos coming all next week too. We're going to have us a time around here. Because I'm tired of playing. I'm tired of playing. I'm tired of playing. We gonna build this platform, and we gonna ask some questions, and we gonna demand that these preachers and these people stop playing all of these games and stop playing in our faces. What you need with a $80 million facility, you're gonna build up an $80 million church, and everybody around the church can't even live in the community. It don't make no sense. And it makes me mad. It just irritates the crap out of me. And then when I start talking like this, people go, well, something must be wrong with him. Somebody must have hurt his feelings. And what happened with him? And who hurt him? And what? Niggas. Let's go on beyond that. And I think I'm going to have to start off every one of my programs with a disclaimer. Nobody in church hurt me. Okay? I'm just an intelligent black man. Maybe some of y'all just not used to this. Maybe some of y'all are just not used to men who come out and actually have something to say that goes against the grain. And I done said it a million times. The most loneliest place to be in the world is to be a man who stands on your own conviction. And I think some of you women sometimes some of you women are so used to men that don't know how to speak up and speak out. You used to him just holding on to his balls all day, standing around looking at you like last night's supper, and then you mad at me because I'm sitting over here having a whole conversation about how we gonna fix our community. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at your pastor, and get mad at your spiritual leaders, and get mad at all of these people that's out here stealing all your money. That's who you need to go ask who's hurt. Go ask them. Don't come ask me. Go ask them. Go ask them. And I know, Latanya, please don't I'm not talking about you, because you were just the trigger for the night. But there's a million people that come by this channel to do the same thing. And I know that everything is not his fault, but at the end of the day, Latanya, he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the one that everybody is following with his rude, disrespectful self. He's supposed to be the one that everybody's following and all of that. So yeah. And you know what? Just for this, I'm going to open up the phone lines early. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to sound off, because y'all know how I am. I'm going to open up the phone lines early. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm going to open up the phone lines. The phone number's on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. The phone number's on your screen. I'm going to open up these lines early. You guys will be able to call in, because I'm not playing. I'm not playing. We need to have a whole conversation and stop playing these games. You got millions of dollars being poured into the black church and in the black community. And we've had these conversations for years and years and years. But let me explain something to you all. What the COVID crisis has taught a lot of us is that most of you don't know what to do. And you do not know how to put a demand on your pastors and your preachers as it relates to this kind of stuff. And I'm serious. I'm so serious, I don't know what to do. Let me put on my headphones. I got a caller. I don't even know who this is. Hold on. Let me see. Caller ending in 3694. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. This is Marcellus with the Mad Church Disease Podcast. You are live on the air. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Hello, sir. I'm Tyrone from Florida. I'm 57. I have seen a lot in church that would make most people quit going. And a lot of the lay people, they have no idea what really goes on behind the scenes. That's why they make those church hurt remarks. But most pastors, they kind of teach blind obedience. And you see error, you're going to have the right to comment on the error, because you're going against the leadership. You feel me?
I totally feel you.
So churches take in millions of black dollars and put them in white banks. And only a small percentage actually goes to mission or outreach. It's primarily used to fund the church ministries, upkeep, and make sure the pastor eats good.
Right. According to the last report.
And I love the church. I love the church, brother, but I don't have blinders on.
Right. Well, let me just say this. According to the last bit of research that was done on it, according to the statistic, 87% of all of the money that is given in church never leaves the building. 87%.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Marvin Winans, I met him one time. I like him. He's just like any other guy in ministry. Most men are ego driven. So what they want to do is start a church and establish a kingdom within the kingdom. So my big church is to compete with the other preachers in town, or to show off what I did.
Right.
But they really built it off the backs of the poor folks.
Right. Now I don't know
so it's a lot.
I don't know what your position was in church, but let me just ask you this. There's this new thing going around that I've been discovering. All the bishops and the preachers are now referring to themselves as your grace. Everybody run around to my your grace this and your grace this. And I keep saying to myself, are these people not aware of why the term your grace was used and the error that those terms were used? Why are we referring to black preachers and black folks as your grace?
Well, we copycatters, and you have fads in the church, and everybody want to be an apostle. You know what I mean? Y'all got saved yesterday, called me apostle. So you have fads in the church, and we kind of like for that. I'm gonna hang up, but you elaborate on why your grace, how it was used.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna end my call.
I heard. Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Y'all won't believe this, but let me see your transcripts. And Roxanne and Daryl, we actually have watched a video of Bernard Jordan's wife and Bernard Jordan and these people in his home referring to him as your grace. Your wife is addressing you as your grace. Now, this is the woman in which you plunge into her valley of flowers and you give God thanks for the gift of the blessing. And then she got to get up and refer to you as your grace. I mean, this is retarded stuff that's going on. And I understand one of the reasons why so many people are so freaking like blind and they just blinded by all of this stuff. You running around calling yourself your grace, and nobody can, of course, use their name anymore. Everybody got to have a title, and you can't use your name no more. It's just ridiculous. And I think that Tyler Perry has a very valid point. Why can't the church and the money that is given in church be used to actually affect the actual community? Black people are obese. The reason, let's just keep it 100 tonight. There are a lot of obese black people that if they had a place where they could go and work out and get on a treadmill for an hour, it would really help them. And maybe where they didn't have to spend so much money, maybe where you could just donate and give something and you could set up some time. Because I mean, we're in the technological age. And see, here's another thing about the church that pisses me off. A lot of these churches are so far behind technology and the real world, it is ridiculous. Now, you got a lot of the mega churches who have a staff of people who can deal with that kind of stuff. But a lot of these other churches, they won't invest and create an infrastructure so that if something happens, a lot of these churches, when the COVID thing hit, they didn't even know how to go online. Do you all know how many services that we watched on the internet and was laughing our tails off because the preacher and the preacher wife walking in the back in her negligee? I mean, they just had no kind of infrastructure at all. And then when people like me get on these boxes and tell y'all, hey, y'all need to rethink this and y'all need to put some stuff into place so that you can actually, I'm not saying I'm trying to help you. You think I'm trying to hurt you. I'm actually out here trying to help you. And I don't even like most of you. I'm just going to be honest. I left the institutional church in 2005 in all transparency. And I have no desire to go back. I have no desire to go back. Every now and then I'll get a call from a couple of my friends who want me to come in and speak at their churches or their event. And a lot of times I will do. I'll literally, I'll go, but church hurt. Let me tell y'all something. I wish they just removed that from the entire linguistical ability. Like, you shouldn't even be able to use the word church hurt no more. I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of it. There is no, and then people say, well, And I heard George Bloomer say there was no such thing as church hurt. I got that on video. I'm gonna be giving some commentary to that soon. You know, I got it on video. He said there's no such thing as church hurt, because if you get hurt on your job, you don't leave your job. You go right back to your job. And I say, Negro, that's because my job gives me a check. You ain't giving me nothing. You ain't giving me nothing. Are you actually taking more from me than you actually giving? My job actually makes sure that I get a check. Are you making sure that I get a check? Well, then you can compare yourself in the church to my job. My job pays me. And a lot of stuff that's given in church is just ethereal anyway. You waiting on the good by and by. The Lord gonna bless you in the by and by. And what I'm amazed at is how the church tells you to pray and ask God, but when they have a need, they don't have to believe God like you have to believe God. I'm just saying. They don't even do it. They don't do it. Caller ending in 3472. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Hi, Marcellus. I'm calling from Chicago.
Oh, are you got snow? Are you in snow right now, or is it just cold?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay.
It's both. But what I want, my thing was, I keep hearing echo.
If you're echoing,
but anyway,
if you're echoing, just know that you're not echoing to us. It's just you. So, just talk regular, and we can hear you fine.
Okay. The reason Tyler Perry said anything about the church in the first place is because of the coronavirus shots that they want to give to black people who don't want to take them. You understand? I don't think he was particularly talking about the church itself.
No, he talked about the church. Did you hear what I read? Did you hear what I said? You did read what
I came in late. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. You need to hear what I said. No, he addressed the church. And what he addressed was, just to give you a recap here, he said Perry voiced his concern with the black church and how extremely disappointed he is with the church, to the point it's almost heartbreaking. He said it's heartbreaking on so many levels. Looking at the church and what it means to be the church, we're supposed to be here for the people. It means having the doors open. It means feeding people. It means getting COVID tested. It means getting the vaccine done at church. Being the church means all those things. Now, this is Tyler Perry talking. This ain't me talking. He said, if the church is not stepping up to meeting the needs, then what good are you? That's what Tyler Perry said.
Yes, they have. Well, okay, it goes back to what I just said. The reason why he made this statement, I believe, this is my opinion, is because they asked him to try to get the black people to take the shot. Because we don't, as black people, I'm an older woman, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm older than you. I'm not telling my age, but I am older than you.
But you sound good. Good.
Oh, all
you
right.
Sound good. Go ahead.
We are afraid of the Tuskegee experiment, and what is that lady's name? Is her name Henrietta Platt, the one that they took her cancer cells?
Henrietta Lacks.
And right? Okay. And and the experiment they did on the black women who they said don't feel pain like white women. Mm-hmm. You remember all that, right?
I remember.
Okay. That is one of the reasons why a lot of black people don't want to take that shot. They don't trust the man.
I don't trust
They
him.
don't trust.
I'm going to be honest.
Right. And you have every reason to. So when it comes, like a lot of, I asked a lot of people that I deal with, I said, are you going to take the shot? They said, well, I'm not saying I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to wait. But Tyler Perry and all the black people, like even Hank Aaron, God rest his soul, they put them up there to show the black people, look who's taking the shot. So if they can take the shot, you can too. Why is they trying to push the black people so much to take that shot?
Right. And they should know in America that they have created an environment where black people will most certainly not want to take this. Now, just to kind of pick and have a little bit of fun, I have a roommate. My roommate's Asian. My roommate jumped in the front of the line. He's already taken his first shot, right? And he told me, he said, oh, well, I'm going to go get my other shot in like a couple days here. I said, okay, because you do realize that the trouble starts with that second vaccine, right? And I told him, I said, well, I'm going to be, if you start barking like a dog, I'll make sure we roll. I told him we going to roll you right up out of here.
I tell people they're going to be walking on their eyebrows.
I'm waiting. As soon as he gets to going, I'm done. It's over.
Okay, one more thing.
Sure.
One more thing I want to say about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry and T.D. Jakes. I stopped respecting both of them. Do you remember that scene where Tyler Perry got up and he touched T.D. Jakes' head and T.D. Jakes fell out in the spirit? See, I don't believe in playing with God. I grew up in an era where you just don't play with God.
Right.
So whatever he said, just go, I'm sorry. It's going over my head right now. I'm not the average old black woman.
Right.
I'm an intelligent black woman.
Absolutely.
All right. And all right. I listen to you all the time.
And I appreciate you.
I'm going to start giving my, I'm Mississippi girl.
Oh, okay. Well, and look, and I've been to almost every darn state there is in America, by the way. People are so surprised. The only state I think I haven't gone to is like Alaska, Maine, and of course I haven't gotten to Hawaii because Hawaii is a part of the United States, by the way, you guys. But I haven't gone there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I pretty much have traveled almost all over this country, so I can honestly tell you, I know why my people are like that. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Daryl Moore's grandfather was in the Tuskegee experiment. A lot of people, you know, so it's been, I understand people's hesitation. I totally get it. But like I'm saying, Tyler has a point. And the point is that the church should be more active as it relates to their community for more than just preaching. You know, the church is open typically on Wednesdays, Sundays, and if you're lucky, another day, you know, because you might, you know, but they're meeting for rehearsals and things like that. This is the only building in our community normally that is closed like 5 out of the 7 days. So they spend millions of dollars for these buildings and they're closed like 5 days out of the week. It just doesn't make any sense. I got another call holder. Thank you so much for calling in. I do appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. I got a call holding. Caller ending in 2802. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add tonight?
Hello, good evening. This is Ebony. I'm calling in from Detroit. And there's just a few comments that I wanted to make.
Ebony, before you start your comments, can I ask a question since you say you in Detroit?
Sure. Yes, sir.
I've been getting people coming over here to this here channel, and I know I'm not speaking the proper grammar. I like doing this because I'm a comedian too, so y'all just bear with me. But I've been getting people coming on this here channel who keep messing with me about Pastor Marvin Winans in this big old building. Now, one time they told me that the building wasn't built. Have you driven by this building? Because I know that the building is up. The frame of the building is up, but the building is not complete on the inside. And that is the point that I've been trying to make, that he's been building this forever. So, Ebony, have you seen this building? Have you gone into this building? Have you done any of that?
As a matter of fact, I've seen the building yesterday. The building is located on 7 Mile and Woodward, which is a main thoroughway here in the city.
Okay.
The actual structure of the church is up, but there's no windows, no landscaping, nor grounds or anything like that. You could not, you couldn't do anything because it's just a structure. That's all it is.
Right. Now, and
in fact, there's not even any lights there.
From my research, Ebony, and not to cut you off, Ebony, I've been talking about this building for 10 years. I've been talking about this building for 10 years, and he is still trying to build this building.
I had said in the comments, which is true, that church has been in progress since our first youngest Black elected mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, got elected, was reelected, convicted, and served 7 years, and released last week and it's still not finished. You are absolutely correct. I can't say 20 years, but I know 15 years for sure.
I've been talking about it for 10. I know I've been talking about this building for at least 10 years.
And there is no progression. So the initial groundbreaking, of course, you've seen a lot of traction the first year or two, and then it fell off. But when I see them building it, I was confused at the time because the trajectory of Detroit has been going down for quite some time. And I'm like, I was like, wait a minute. I was just confused as to why didn't they do any projections? The generation that used to keep, that was the backbone of the church, that generation was already dying out. Those were the members who gave $100, $200 a week, but that's because the economy was booming with all of the manufacturing plants.
Wow.
That was here at that time. So I also wanted to say that a family member had passed away, and the church where we had the services was located on 7 Mile, and the cemetery is located on 7 Mile, but it's about 5 miles apart.
Wow.
And I don't want to call it the hearse driver, but you know, the people who drive the family cars. The gentleman had made a comment. He said, it is such a shame to see the city in such despair the way it is. And he said it's over 200 churches between this church and the cemetery. And we looked at each other like, that's a bit of an exaggeration. But when we went back, it was 87.
Wow.
That is ridiculous. There are some places in the city where there's a church store, church, Chinese place, church, hair weave place. It's unfortunate. And I agree with you. I feel like because the church is such an institution in our culture and our community,
right? I
feel like we do need to do things that are going to be beneficial to our people.
You're
like you
right.
said, the church. And what about just learning to cook? There's a lot of young ladies that don't know how to cook.
Or any of that stuff. And I want to thank you so much for calling in, caller, because I got calls holding now.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. But that's a very valid point. I think the caller has a great point. And I definitely believe that we need to be considerate of that, especially when it comes to talking about the money. Caller ending in 9856. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add?
Hi, Brother Marcellus. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm great. I called in before with your other show about the pastor and the $10,000 a month fee. So anyway,
okay.
Yeah. First of all, I want to just backpedal a little bit. The only time I'm going to say grace is over my food.
You're not going to say your grace. I want you to address me when you call in here as your grace. You need to say, your grace.
I'm so sick of it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you don't bow before some of these leaders like they the Grand Poobahs or the Water Buffalo, I'm tired.
Yeah. It's overwhelming.
But it is. It's so far from what Christ did on the cross. But as far as Tyler Perry, I agree with him 100%. I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying. I mean, the word says that they continue steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, fellowship, and breaking of bread and prayers. I don't see anything wrong with what he said.
I don't either.
At all. I think the church, that there's a responsibility that they have, and it's not to put the bishop in a new condo while folks are taking the bus to church.
Yeah, and I'm surely not going to be letting the bishop spend $1,100 on an Airbnb and then turning around and buying people $100 coats and $600 this and $600 that on the church's dime. I mean, we just have to be honest and call it what it is, and calling it out. And I want to thank you so much for calling in, caller. Right. I'm gonna move on to the next caller, but it doesn't. Okay. It doesn't. It should not cause people to get upset with you when you call this stuff out or you have these conversations. And I know y'all don't understand that, but I just want y'all to understand I'm not mad at anybody. I just talk about it. That's my job. Caller ending in 4991. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation? Caller ending in 4991. Okay, I'm gonna let you go, caller. Wait a minute now. Let's see. Unmute. Caller ending in 4991. Okay, I don't think you're listening. I'm gonna mute you. Let's see if this works. Caller ending in 1020. Uh-oh, what happened?
Hello?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Caller ending in 1020.
You can hear me?
Yes, now I can. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast.
Hey, hold on. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Okay, great. But remember, I'm like, wait a minute. This is my home phone. Yeah. First and foremost, can you hear me clearly?
I can. If you're getting a feedback, don't worry about it. You sound fine on this end and to the viewer. So just keep talking.
Okay, great. One thing that I want to tell you, I really appreciate a young man like you. I was telling my husband about you. We need more men of color like you to tell the truth. Number two, I live in Michigan. I live in the northern part of Michigan, up north. I live like in a hip town.
Okay.
Because I choose to. Okay, I live out in the country, going up north.
Okay.
I'm like an hour and 40 minutes away from Detroit. Okay.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'm very glad that you're honest. My prayer is this: tell these black women of color, to wake up. Stop giving these preachers all your money. I hear that I don't go to any churches in Detroit at all. Okay?
Right.
And not all churches. But it's so sad when these preachers come out and play on the single females, especially single females with children, saying, if you want God to bless you, I feel in my spirit $100.
Right.
That's not in the Bible.
It's ridiculous.
The Bible says tithe and offering. Now, the tithe goes to the church. That keeps the light bills, the gas bill, the water bill, and so forth. The offering goes out to the community. Help with the schools, the books, help people with food, and people pay bills. Not to drive a Rolls Royce or a Bentley.
Now,
and it's a disgrace.
Now, and
number two.
Okay, go ahead.
And these sisters should stop supporting people like Paula White. How Paula White got successful. She didn't get successful from the white. She got successful from the black female.
That is correct.
Okay? People should know God for themselves. Now, I'm very glad we're in this pandemic. To have people's eyes open up, to read your Bible, to talk to God, and to meditate. It's a personal relationship. Church is in your heart. The building is a building of fellowship. You take notes, you raise your hands. What have you learned? You go home with your husband, with your family, and you talk about what you learned. And you pray. And after you pray, then you take it out to your community.
Right.
And all these churches, these profile churches, is ridiculous.
I agree.
Black folks need to wake up. And white folks sit back and laughing. Now, I told a white person, you want to get rich? Go to the black area in any city. It has to be Detroit. It's not you're from New York.
Right.
That's where you hear the accent from.
Well,
all you do go to any city.
Right.
And tell a black person, I feel in my spirit. If you sow a seed of this much, God go bless you with the home. God go bless you with the car.
Caller, I want to tell you.
Forth.
I want to tell you, caller. I most certainly agree with you, and that's definitely something that we need to address, and we definitely need to look into it. I want to thank you for your comments. I got calls holding. I don't want to keep these folks on hold. Thank you so much, caller, for calling in. I really do appreciate it. Caller ending in 8087. You are live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. If you're getting feedback, understand you're coming through loud and clear with us and to the viewer. Just talk as if you normally would. You sound wonderful. Go for it.
Hey, Matt Church Disease, just let me see your transcript.
All right, let me see your transcript. Go ahead.
I called in to talk about what I forget which lady it was who mentioned earlier, but also in the chat about our historical issue with medicine in this country as African Americans.
Right.
Like you said, mentioned the Tuskegee experiment, Henrietta Lacks. Also, slave women were experimented on by the quote unquote father of gynecology.
Right.
There have been other experiments on male slaves as well. George Washington Carver was the victim of an experiment, and that's why he never married or had children because he was castrated.
Wow.
As a child, he was a slave. And so I do historically understand why African Americans don't want to take the vaccine. Absolutely. As far as they don't want to have people watching them to see the effects of it.
Right.
But at the same time, if some people are not going to take the vaccine, then they should be doing other things so they don't get COVID or other people or give it to someone else.
Right. Like not meeting.
Some of y'all are still going to church.
Exactly. That's
so
exactly
you need to stay
where
home.
I was going.
You need to social distance. You need to wear a mask. You need to wear 2 masks. Stop going to funerals. Stop having birthday parties. Stop trying to go to clubs. 2 weeks ago, there was Bow Wow was here for somebody's party, he said, at the Spire Club, and there were people from Louisiana, San Antonio. It was over 1,000 people in that club. I only saw 2 people with masks.
Makes no sense.
So for all the people who don't want to take the COVID-19 vaccine, I understand. I do understand.
Oh, I get it.
But some of us are probably going to have to take it because one, our job. Also, if we have some health conditions where we may need to take it because if we really do get COVID, it's not going to be good.
Right.
There are other people who are probably not going to be able to take the vaccine because of their health conditions, because the symptoms from taking the vaccine are so bad.
Wow. And I
have a friend who had COVID, Donna Kim Murphy, who I interviewed a few months ago. And we were talking about, and she's finally gotten over COVID. She went from March to September, but occasionally she does have, I guess you say, a flare up from COVID.
Right. Well,
she's a doctor.
That's the one thing that they're not talking about as it relates to COVID. And Kim, I'm gonna let you give your final statement before I move to these last 2 callers. Callers, I know you're on hold. I'm coming to you. But Kim, that's the thing. That's the thing about this, the COVID, the after effects, because I know some people who took the vaccine and they were fine, and the next thing you know, they developed all sorts of things that are happening to people.
And she hasn't taken the vaccine yet, but she's still having effects from actually having the disease.
Oh, I know. Do you know there was one?
So she's already.
Did you know?
Yeah,
Kim,
she's already said that she's going to take it. I think she's taking either the Moderna one.
Right. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not taking anything that Pfizer gives, period, point blank. That's my own preference. I have seen too much stuff that Pfizer has done to people, and this is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. I am not taking anything.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
No, I'm just saying it so in case somebody come by this video and be like, well, we going to go after him because he said he ain't going to take the Pfizer. I can say whatever I want to because it's my here juke joint.
There's going to be multiple companies who are going to come up with one.
Listen to me.
Right now it's Pfizer, Moderna, and now AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson.
Kimberly.
I know you're not going to take none of it.
No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I got more calls holding. Give me your final thought so I can move to the callers.
Oh no, that's what my thought was. That one, if you don't want to take the vaccine, that's your preference. Don't put down other people who are going to take it. Just like I need to start putting down people who are not going to take it. If you're not going to take it, wear a mask, social distance, and stay home.
Right. Well,
wear a mask.
All right, Kim. Thank you so much.
That's it.
Thanks for calling
all
in.
Right.
Caller ending in, is this the same caller? This number looks familiar. I don't know if this is the same person. Caller ending in 4991. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Hi, Marcellus. This is Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
I want to say, how you doing?
Good.
Look, I was born and raised in Detroit. And when last time I was here, and we went past where the Winans Church is being built.
Right.
I sat there and I felt like knowing Pop Winans and his mother.
Uh-huh.
It was just like, let's just go like this.
Well, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. I don't know if the rest of the callers are having this kind of a trouble, but I'm getting a little feedback from you.
Well, I got everything off. But anyway, let me try it this way. Is that better?
That's better.
That better?
That's better.
Okay. But the thing is, a friend of mine sent me a picture of the church about 3 weeks ago. And I said, what is this? He said, that's Winans Church. I was thoroughly disappointed. You know, if you want to have all these great titles, it goes back to what my dad used to say. You got to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember from where you came from.
Well, Barbara, I just want to tell you, I got to tell you this, Barbara. The question is, will this church ever be built? And the answer is no, 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 no. Now the question is, have y'all wasted y'all money on this building? And the answer is yes, 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 yes. I'm just saying, you Negroes done wasted all y'all money on this here building, because the question is, this building is not going to be built. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sorry, yours truly. I do read the comments. I'm just not all of them. Not all. Not all.
That's one thing I want to say. And all these prophets and all these great wonderful bishops and everything. My dad was a bishop, but he could upset if you hollered your grace to him.
Oh,
God, he said,
it's ridiculous.
I'm Reverend Pope.
It's so dumb. Your grace. Barbara, I got so many calls holding, but thank you so much for calling. I know you do,
but I just wanted to make those two comments.
All right, thank you.
It was hitting me.
Thank you so much.
And they need to remember this here, I do join.
Exactly. And we ain't going nowhere. We don't die. We like baby's kids. We just multiply. The revolution will be televised. Caller ending in 5819. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Hi, Marcellus. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
What I wanted to add was, when we was talking, and I enjoyed your, the church hurt part that you gave.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I feel that pastors, the leaders, the prophets, whoever's in the fivefold ministry should be held accountable for what they do. And they use manipulation, and I'm a personal witness too. They use manipulation to get you to think one way, and then if anybody else come that way, then
right,
you're gonna get kicked out the church, or you get rebuked for it, and it's openly.
Right. Remember,
nobody's getting.
Remember this statement. I'm gonna teach you a statement tonight if you've never heard this before. The church doesn't teach. Okay. The church doesn't teach you how to think. The church tells you what to think. And that's the difference.
Right.
The church doesn't teach you how to process thought. They just tell you this is what you ought to believe and this is how you ought to think.
Yep. And my other thing is, I appreciate your show because you're transparent and don't really try to skim over what they say. You just say what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Yeah, I'm not scared. I mean, why should I be scared? Listen, I don't have no dog in this fight anymore. I'm very transparent. I do not go to anybody's church. I belong to Bedside Baptist. And every now and then I go to Sheets of Praise. I'll roll over in my sheets and I will go to sleep. I don't go to nobody's church. Now, you got a lot of people who come by the channel and say, well, if you don't go to the church, why do you get to talk about it? People, black folk, because I have spent the majority of my life in church. Okay. And therefore, because I understand the inner workings of the institution, I can give voice to a lot of things that other people are not allowed to say. And let me just say this for the people who might be new in the bushes. Nobody ever hurt me. I ascended the ranks of the institutional church to the point to where I could have been walking around here having everybody address me as your grace. It's just stupid and it's just dumb. And I decided, after looking at the institution and reading the scripture and making some decisions, I said, you know what? We're not actually doing what the Bible tells us to do. And I no longer want to be a part of this foolishness. And I'd rather put my money to actual use of actually helping somebody. And when the scripture talks about the fact that they didn't have a need among them, I like to actually meet people's needs. That's what I do. And I've shown that over the years through my channel, through the Church Folk Revolution, all the stuff that we have done. We done paid folks light bill, gas bill, rent, emergency surgeries. I mean, I've done it all. So you can't tell me. And I don't get out here bragging, you know, about all the stuff that we do behind the scenes, but because whatever your hands find to do, just do it, you know. But I'm not going to sit up here and let these people make me feel bad. And caller, I got calls holding, but I want to thank you for calling in. Did you have one final thought before I moved on to the next call? I want to let you go get through.
Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm listening. I'm going to become a member.
I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. I really do. All right, caller ending in 1732. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add tonight?
Hey, Marcellus, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. How about you doing? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I was calling because I was listening to the elder that was speaking about Marvin Winans, right? Mm-hmm. But in what he said, he mentioned Iona Locke. And so I remember when she first passed away, you had made a comment about her, but you was like, it's too early, you really didn't want to get into it. Mm-hmm. But he made a comment basically saying, this is why a lot of the pastors are passing away, because they aren't living right. Okay, my question is, I have been listening to her for a minute, and what I get may not be what she lived. So I'm just kind of curious, is, you know, was she living differently than what she was preaching?
Very good question. Now, how do I want to address this? Let me just say this. How do I want to say this? I met Iona Locke when I was a teenager. Okay. I met Iona Locke through Pastor Shirley Caesar. A lot of the preachers that I met, a lot of people I met as a younger adult. I think at the time that I met Iona, I was probably already preaching by then. But I met Iona through Pastor Shirley Caesar. Let me be very, very clear. Okay. There are certain things that I will talk about and that I will address. And then there are certain things that I just don't address. I leave certain things just out of preference and out of respect for the person. I leave it to God, and I don't address it. Okay. There have always been rumors, and there's always going to be rumors about other people, and that people have come out with and said all sorts of things. I cannot definitively say anything about her life, as far as that is concerned. For me, I was very shocked with Pastor Dr. Iona Locke at the close of her life, because she started hanging out with certain preachers and people that I would have never expected her to hang out with. One of those preachers being E. Bernard Jordan. Okay. I was so mad at her one day for being on the Word Network with that charlatan. And yes, that's what I'll call him. And I don't care what y'all say. Let me tell you something. I called one of my friends up on the phone. He knows Iona. I called one of my friends and I said, you know what she just did on that program made me lose all respect for her. And I have the program on video, and I was going to make a video about it, but I chose, rather, because she passed away, I said, I'm going to let that go. Okay. But I definitely wanted to give some commentary to it because she was on a program with Ebenard Jordan. And I was like, what the Sam heck is she doing? And I was like, oh man, she has really made a shift here. And my friend and I were having this big old conversation about it. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm just going to back off. I won't say anything. I'll leave it alone. And out of just respect for her family, respect for her memory, I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. And y'all notice I have not said anything about Iona Locke. I will not address it. I'm telling y'all publicly, this is why I'm not going to address it, because at the close of her situation, I was not liking some of the moves she was making. I don't know if she was making the moves for financial reasons or whatever, but I just have my thoughts about that. Did I answer your question, caller?
Yeah, you really did,
Okay.
because I asked it because I had started seeing videos in her later years, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's like she's saying something different than what she was saying in the beginning. And of course, we all want to, see them make it on in. And I'm like, oh God, I hope she was really living,
Well, I put
the
it
way
to,
that she was teaching, because she was really. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, what I was going to say, caller, not to cut you off, because I know there's a delay. Let me tell you guys this. And I really mean what I'm about to tell you. If the blood of Jesus don't speak louder for all of us on Judgment Day, all of us are going to be screwed. Now take that home with you. If the blood don't speak louder for all of us, we all gonna be in trouble. I don't care who you are, what your title is, and I personally believe that the blood is going to speak louder for us. That's my personal belief. I know a lot of people, y'all done made this a whole works-based situation, but no, the Bible says you're saved through by grace through faith. The Bible doesn't say anything about your works, because I know y'all are all counting for your works to speak for you, but no, the blood's got to talk louder for you than your works. That's all I'm saying for me and my personal life and my personal situation and my personal relationship with God. But I need for the blood to speak louder for all of humanity, and that includes the folks in and out of the church, because if the blood don't speak louder for all of us, we're all in trouble. And I'll leave my comment there. Anything else you like to add before I move to my last caller?
No, I appreciate it. And just one more thing, when the elder was talking about Marvin, all I can think about is when you were saying he threw his Batman coat on you.
Oh my God. Y'all have no idea. And look, and here's the funny thing. I got a video that I'm going to put out about 15 minutes after I close this live with y'all tonight. I promise you. There's his armor bearer, Marvin Winans' former armor bearer, is in this video, and he said the exact same thing about how arrogant Marvin is.
Yeah,
he actually said it, and I said, well, maybe they'll believe it if somebody else other than me, or somebody else hears it from somebody other than me. The man said every single thing. He said Marvin has a history. Everybody who knows Marvin knows that Marvin is rude and disrespectful, and he's arrogant, and everybody knows it, but folks just act like they can't say it. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I ain't never been scared. I'm gonna tell you, you threw that Batman coat on me. While I'm standing there with a whole crowd of other ministers, we all standing there talking, and then you gonna throw that Batman coat. And to me, I mean, come on, you don't put your whole coat on somebody and hit them all in the face and on the side of the face like you don't know that you done hit them with your coat. Now, I'll be honest with you. I just looked at my aunt. I was looking at my aunt. I was like, did he just put, it was one of those moments where you just like, did he just hit me with that darn coat? So it was one of those kind of situations. So I was like, okay. And then when I saw how he conducted himself, because he didn't say, oh, pardon me. Then the Negro looked me up like Leandria Johnson said. That's how I knew Leandria wasn't lying. That Negro looked at me like I was the scum of the earth. And I looked at him because he looking at me because I'm looking at him because I know you done hit me with this coat. And he looking at me and I'm looking at him like, no, this fool didn't. And he just walked on and put on his little brim, he looked like that duck with the long trench coat. But I mean, he just walked right on out like he hadn't done nothing. But I thank you for calling, caller. Let me get to these callers.
You're welcome.
I got two more. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate all of you guys calling in here. Thank y'all, callers. Caller ending in 6151. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Talking about that Batman coat, but go ahead.
Yes, I'm familiar with a lot of the stories. I've actually heard the Armor Bearer video.
Okay.
I just want to say to you that you're actually saving lives, because so many people are confused and, for lack of a better term, hurt by what they're experiencing, having invested so much of their life in the church and their church family. And when they begin to see that it's not what it is supposed to be, they may go into depression. They may become suicidal. They have no one around them that they can talk to. And it's like the lady that came out of Scientology. You know, it's almost like a whole battle or a war. And they don't always find you. I recently found you. In the particular thing, I like your level of knowledge, the fact that I see your mouth moving on my screen.
No, my mouth isn't moving. No, I'm sitting here listening.
Oh. And just want to say, this break that a lot of people are making from the church is dangerous mentally. And you bringing so much light and clarity is saving lives.
And I appreciate that.
And
I just want to say thank you.
I wish that I had found you sooner.
You know what?
And I can see your authenticity.
I wish, and I'm not gonna let you make me emotional on this here program, because they're gonna be talking about me if I start crying. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I'm crying.
No, it's okay. But let me tell you something. I appreciate you saying that, and the reason why is because sometimes, you know, I think people just think that I'm doing this because I'm angry or I'm upset or I'm mad or somebody did something to me. And they don't understand that the reason why I do this, because I know what it's like to go through this type of institution and to go through these experiences and like what you just mentioned, and to come out on the other side and wish that I would not have spent so much time in the building and in the institution, because every time that the doors open, I was sitting on somebody's pew. And if my church was closed, I was at somebody else's revival. I was doing something, always doing something. And I know what it's like to come out of that institution and just start questioning everything. But I can honestly tell you that the faith that I have today, I didn't even have when I was in the institution. I probably love and trust God more, and had to learn how to trust God more than I ever did inside of an institution outside. Because see, my trust and my love and my praise can't be backed up by a Hammond B3. My stuff is not my stuff is not dependent upon emotionalism. My stuff is dependent upon the stuff that God has revealed to me and said to me when nobody was in the room and I wasn't in a building. And you know, all of those things and the things in my life that I have now, it's overwhelming to me. And when you say things like you're saving lives and stuff like that, it really blesses me, because somebody saved my life. If I would not have run into the church folk revolution, I literally do not know where I would be today. And that is the goodness, honest truth. It was because of my friends. It was because of the respect and the love and the admiration that we had for one another. And even the chastisement that we gave one another. It was amazing. And so I really do appreciate you, caller. I got 2 more calls now that just chiped in. Let me go ahead and grab these callers. Thank you again for calling, though. I really, 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 really appreciate what you said.
That's my brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I got more to say, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll let you get your final thought in. Go ahead.
I just want to again thank you and thank you for your transparency, clarity, and lack of an agenda.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I do. Thank you so much. Love you too. Thank you so much. That means a lot, guys. Area code 6318. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add?
Good evening, Mr. McMillian. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine. I just wanted to say that I admire your boldness for standing up and opening up the doors and pulling the covers back, because the word of God said that God was going to make an open show of the sins, and he said he would come to the house of God first for judgment.
Right.
So I admire your boldness. I admire the fact that he gave you wisdom and insight to be able to see and not be fooled, because there are millions of people being fooled. And I hear you. I see you. Judgment day going to be something else. If Jesus don't stand in my stead, I don't know. Thank you so much for what you say.
You're welcome, because that's listen, my total faith, trust, and reliance is on the finished work of the cross. If that cross and that blood don't speak louder for me, we all in trouble. That's all I'm saying. Eric Coates, 6229, you're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add?
Good evening. I just want to just thank you for having a conversation of what you're talking about today. But I want to most of all thank you for your honesty and your integrity. And I actually disagree with a couple of callers ahead of me in regards to where the stands in regards to what Tyler Perry had to say. Actually agree that he made a valid point, because anyone that's in a pastoral leadership happens to be a mouthpiece by God to lead the people. So if it's lead the people against showing them how to rightly divide the word of God against the evils of the world, when it comes to the vaccine, if there were evils about the vaccine, then that means there should be a conversation. It means that they should be the first voice trying to lead the herd of people in the right direction. Right. So as many churches we have in the city of Detroit, the number of pastoral pastors, black clergy, they should be standing up, organized as one voice, clearly giving a direction to the body of believers, their organization, as to what direction we ought to be taking. And they ought to have the supportive information why we should take that direction. We know that there happens to be 3 manufacturers trying to produce a product. But if you go get a chicken shot, are you picking from 3 competitive people what chicken pot shot you ought to change?
I'm going to say this. I say the thing I said about Pfizer, because anybody who does their research on Pfizer has come out with some medications that just unpeel people. Well, I don't want to go into it. Just do your own research on Pfizer. And Pfizer has a long history of coming out with medications and knowing that the medication is screwed up, but they just want to make a whole bunch of money, and they'll pay in the lawsuits in the long run, because they know they could set up the funds and pay off the people, for what happens. Pfizer has a whole big old history. Just go do your own homework. But I'm not taking nothing from Pfizer. If Pfizer is the last, if Pfizer was the only vaccine that we had, I'm telling you right now, I'd take my chances. I'd live out the rest of my days with no vaccine. And God knows that's the honest to goodness truth. I wouldn't take nothing Pfizer gave me. And that's just how I feel about Pfizer. But caller, you make a valid point, and I really do appreciate it. I got one other call holding. I'm gonna let you give your final thought, and I'm gonna move to the last caller.
I just thank you for your time, and continue to keep us knowledgeable. Keep pushing the information, because we're listening.
I really do appreciate that. You guys have really encouraged me tonight. Thank y'all so much. I don't know if I've already talked to this caller, but I see caller 6318. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. I think this person just forgot to hang up. That's what I think. Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for all of y'all comments. I got one final story that I want to talk about tonight, and y'all might want to call in. I don't know if this is a new caller or not. You guys aren't hanging up, so I don't know who's left and who's not. Hang on. Let me see if this is a new call. Caller ending in okay, so that answers that. Okay. All right. So I got one final story that I want to tell y'all about. Shout out to Ann Brock and the Old Lady Church blog for this story. I appreciate you. Ann have been posting so much stuff this week. I tell you, she just been getting me going. First of all, Daryl is fine, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are asking the question, he is with his parents. Daryl has been in Atlanta. He has been in Alabama. So Daryl has been doing a little bit of driving and traveling, and he is doing phenomenal. So just so that you all know, and thank you for those of you that helped to support and give him a little bit of support so that he could get to his parents' house and stuff, because his father is resting and recuperating, and the surgery and everything did go okay. So praise God for that, and we're grateful for that as well. Oh Lord, Ann Brock is doing this to me now, ladies and gentlemen. One half of the Mary duo clan, one of the Marys, is starting to get on my nerves. This Mary is getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves. I don't know if she's trying to become the new 50 Cents of the Christian community. I don't know what Erica Campbell is trying to do, but Erica, you are getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves. Let me preface my statement. The first thing I'm going to address is this, because I started to address this earlier in the show, but I need to talk about this just briefly, just for a second. I am a whole grown man. Okay. I'm a single grown man. I done said this to y'all a million times. I love the Lord, but I like a lot of other stuff too. Just like God is working on you, He working on me. I don't know any man whose penis works. Any man whose penis works, and he is a heterosexual gentleman. I don't know any man who does not find the opposite sex attractive, alluring, or whatever. I don't care if he wears a preacher collar. I don't care any of that stuff. I get so tired of y'all being all super religious, like y'all just don't understand natural human stuff. If you are a man, if you are a woman, you are going to like the opposite sex. Some of you may like the same gender. I'm not here to judge or make any decisions upon anybody. Let me just go there. That ain't what my conversation, but I want to address these darn church folk for just a second. You super religious, deep dogmatic folk. And what I find really interesting is when these people get older, and the older they get, the more super spiritual they seem to become. It's like, they're like some old engine where they just keep trying to rev up, their engine, and they treat religion like, an old cloak. Because Erica Campbell is becoming somebody's old mother, like one of the mothers on the mother's board. She's so darn judgmental, and it's getting on my nerves. And she's trolling people on the internet, and she thinks she's being slick. But Erica, people see you and they're watching you. And let me just say this. I know people ain't gonna like it and they're gonna get mad because I said it. Let me just say this. You and your husband should go somewhere and sit all the way down, because you guys leaving the little Mary franchise and you going out on your own, and now all of a sudden your husband has decided that he want to preach and become somebody's pastor. If people can't see this crap that you and your husband is trying to pull, they just don't have good sense, because that's the new racket. Y'all go from singing and the gospel music industry, and now everybody gets anointed to become a pastor. And let me just say this. Your husband can't preach at all. He is boring. The bull ring. Your husband is one of the boringest preachers I have ever seen in all my life. He's going to be like that guy, Charles Schuler. Your husband is going to put more Christians to sleep than a rockabye baby. You hear me? Your husband is boring and he can't preach. And you ought to thank God that you still got a little bit of the voice left that you got, because to tell you the truth, I prefer Tina over you anyway. That's just me. And yeah, I said it. You think you're real slick. Let me just say this. Let me show y'all what this lady been posting all week, because she keeps steady posting up stuff. Here she go. Hey, preachers and pastor, you should rethink liking pictures of ladies in sexy bikinis, especially when you're married. Even when the caption is deep and spiritual, you shouldn't double tap. Excuse me, Mary, the other half of that Mary. Listen to me. Preachers like women in bikinis too. Duh. And if she says something spiritual, that just happens to be an extra benefit and bonus. I'm just saying. You guys get on my nerves trying to act all super spiritual like grown men don't notice T and A. It gets on my nerves. And this is what causes, in my opinion, so many people to live so promiscuously, because they just can't be honest, and they trying to pretend like they don't see stuff that they know they see. I'm sick of y'all. If you go to my Instagram, you will see I likes me a big butt, and I cannot lie. And I will never lie, and I ain't gonna repent about it, and I ain't gonna apologize for it. And you niggas ain't gonna have me up in no prayer line asking and trying to get something, repenting for something I'm supposed to like. It's just stupid. The whole thing is just dumb. And it's this kind of attitude that these people produce, and it creates all kinds of environments in the church. Now, I ain't going to go down this here line, but I just wanted to comment on this today, because you're getting on my nerves, Erica. You're just getting on my nerves. Let me just say this. You're getting on my nerves. Just because a man likes a picture or he likes a woman, don't mean that he just, that he just went completely off the walls in his mind. And if he has, the same God that you got to repent to is the same God that he got to repent to. Go sit yourself down somewhere. And you wasn't saying all that when you was out there with your baby making hips with all them tight dresses and stuff that you was wearing. But now all of a sudden you done turn into the mother on the mother's board. And now you got all these deep things to say. Weren't you the same lady that was running around here in all these tight dresses and showing all your goods when you didn't have on no panties? Wasn't that you? That was you, right? That's at least I remember. Don't make me pull the receipts out. Don't make me pull the receipts out. That was you last time I checked. I'm just saying. And I realize that you've had some struggles in your marriage. I realize that, and I realize that you and your husband is on the other side of that. And we all thank God for that. Amen. Praise the Lord. But you're just becoming a little too judgmental for me, and then you're supposed to be the first lady. You're supposed to be the pastor's wife. You know what? You need to stop trolling people and stop doing the foolishness and these tweets and stuff that you're doing, because you're throwing shade all the time and you don't think people can read in between the lines of the crap that you're saying. I'm just saying. I'm really tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all. And for every man that watches this program, y'all need to stop letting these people make you feel guilty because you recognize some hips and lips. I'm sick of this foolishness. Y'all ain't gonna make no. I'm long past that. I see the lips. I see the hips. I know when your butt look like you got two midgets in the back of your dress fighting. Ha! Shatada! Bosotobo! Shebebe! Baby. I'm just saying, you ain't about to make me keep repenting. I know what the scripture says. The Bible says that even if a man think on a woman to lust after her, he already committed it in his heart. I get it. But you all look at that stuff like that's supposed to be something attainable. Like men are just supposed to, you need to attain so that you don't have no kind of feelings in your heart when you see two big old butt cheeks moving. You just supposed to not be able to say nothing and see nothing. Please, you better go somewhere and sit down and shut up, girl. Go somewhere and sit down and shut up. Go somewhere and sit down and shut all the way up. Yeah, I said it, and I ain't apologizing, and I'll add some more to it before I take it back. Here's another one of this lady's posts. She need to cut it out. She really need to cut it out. Now listen at this. I got to go in a little closer because I can't see. We did something cool today, she said. You'll see on Valentine's Day. I don't know if this is old because somebody, I don't know if they put the date up, took the date down. I don't know. I can't see. I don't expect non-believers or people who are not in love to understand what real love looks like. If you don't expect non-believers or people who understand what real love looks like, why are you posting it? Oh, this is only for Christians. Even though a lot of the people that buy your music and took the shackles off their feet so they could dance and bought those records, you made those records appealing to people who were non-believers. And so now, though, you're on Instagram and all the stuff that you post and you talking to the believers only. Okay. So the God done took the shackles off your feet. Now you on Instagram and now you throwing shade. Okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with it, Erica. We'll go with it. So I don't get bothered by comments from people who are lonely, angry, and bitter and broken. Listen to me. And see, this is why proper teaching is so important, ladies and gentlemen. The Bible teaches married couples. This just for me. Now, this just for me to Erica. I'm talking to you, Erica. And the people that are going to come by this video. Erica, married couples are supposed to conduct themselves a certain way amongst single people and amongst other non-married believers. They're not supposed to get on Instagram and try to treat them like piranhas and treat them as if they're some kind of way they're not knowledgeable enough to discuss, marital issues. Because a lot of the people that, even though they are not married, they've been in relationships and they've had relationships. And when you take this kind of a high horse approach, it really shuts people down, and then people don't want to receive from you because they know you're not coming from a good place. Now, Erica, that was me trying to say it in a nice way. You just on the old mother's board, and you're getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves with your non-preaching husband. You're getting on my nerves, and I know who your mentor is, and I know who your mentors are. And I'm not going to go down this road because I keep trying to tell y'all don't know who I know. Erica, stop it right now. Stop it. I just wish some people would learn to live their life and remember where God brought them from. That's all I'm saying. I wish people would learn how to put it in the front of their mind and remind themselves. And see, this is how I stay in the mindset that I have. I'm a little boy from the projects. Okay. God has done great things for me. The Lord has blessed me with great talents, and God has done awesome things for me. I try to remain humble. I don't understand these people who God blesses, and then all of a sudden y'all get so arrogant and y'all get so high-minded. It's disturbing to me. And she said, "You're lonely." Well, Erica, it ain't your business to throw up in the face of the people that they're lonely. I'm just saying, but I'm gonna continue because Erica's she's testing my patience. She said, "You're angry and you're bitter and you're broken. People who don't understand forgiveness and grace won't get it. Unfortunately, there are many." Listen, a lot of people understand grace and forgiveness, but the problem is the folks that are in the church who in leadership positions don't know how to dole out grace and forgiveness to other people. That's the problem. Y'all are used to throwing rocks, and y'all are used to putting people in the pew and the people outside in a category. And you don't realize that the same grace that you need and the same, blessing and forgiveness that you need, those same people in the pew need that same grace and forgiveness. So when God gives you something beautiful, she says, love out loud. You got, what else can you do? You're on a damn radio show. Everything you do gonna be loud. I'm just saying, you're on a radio show, girl. Everything you do and say is gonna be loud. Everybody's listening to you. And that crappy radio program. But let me go on, even though I don't listen to it. Don't apologize. We have some kind of understanding of God to get it. You have to have some understanding of God to get it, which I doubt that. And see, that's another thing that Christian folks need to stop doing. Y'all need to stop acting like there's some sort of, mystical understanding that only can be interpreted once you come down the aisle and give the preacher your hand. Most of this stuff is one of the reasons why so many of y'all and the church culture and people are running from the church is because of stupid statements like that. You're so dumb. You're just dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. Makes me mad. I'm just saying. So my prayer is that you get to experience something real and beautiful. Go somewhere and sit down. Let me just tell you this. I respect your husband, and I don't mean your disrespect to your husband at all. But them Campbell girls got some. I mean, them. I forget the family name of her sisters, but all her sisters got hips, and I just want to thank the Lord for y'all hips, because y'all got them hips. Hondo bo shata, and people can see. I'm just saying, preachers can see. Everybody can see what folks is going through, and quit acting like you so deep and super spiritual. But this is the one that got under my skin. I'm so sick of this. Because if you go to my Instagram, I'm on like a whole lot of big butts. I sure am. I got some. My friends, even my personal friends, run the gamut. I got friends. Let me tell y'all something. If you're a real Christian, now this just for me. This just for me. This just for me. I have friends that are strippers. I have personal friends who swing from the pole. I have one personal friend who works in the porn industry. You heard it. You heard it. That's what I said. She make them movies. Them movies. And if I call her name, some of you gonna know it because some of you watch them damn movies. I'm just saying. She is my personal friend. Okay, let me tell you something. I don't judge her Wherever she is in her process, she's in her process. Wherever she's at in her life, she's in her life. I know what she knows. I've had conversation with her about her relationship with God. I know where she came from. I know who she is. I don't judge her. You understand? And that's one of the reasons why my friends can come to me and we can talk about anything. And they know that they have a place where they can come and they can rest and know that they won't get judged, and they'll listen to me. And I'll be able to give them some sort of guidance and counsel and stuff. My phone rang twice this morning, giving out some counsel to some people that needed it. Understand something. And I didn't charge them a dime. They didn't have to, they interrupted my day, but I gave them what they needed. My friends run the gamut, and I love all my friends, the ones that are in the church and out of the church. I understand what Psalms 1 says. Trust me, I get it. I know the word. I know that we're not supposed to walk in the counsel or the wisdom of the ungodly. I get it. I understand that it's not my job to sit in the seat of the scornful. I get it. And I understand where some of your positions are, but you need to understand those people need Jesus too. And I'm not just talking about the women with the big boobs and the stuff. I'm just talking about people in general. Some of you all, I don't know why I'm talking like this, but some of y'all are so dismissive of your friends because they drinking Hennessy and they still partying and stuff. Well, this is what I don't understand. If you got all of this Jesus, why are you so scared? You say you got Jesus and you full to the brim. I'm just saying, if you full to the brim, I got friends that do all kinds of stuff. I don't participate, but I love them through their process. And I let them know that if they ever need me, I'm here to have a discussion and talk to them about anything. You say you got Jesus, and I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. Even some of these preachers who talk about you can't go into certain churches and preach. Well, you say that God called you to preach to the whole world. Are you trying to tell me that you can only go preach for people who believe and think like you? You can't put a message together. You so untalented that you can't put a message together to go preach in an environment that maybe is unfamiliar to you? I don't understand this. You all say that God called you to minister. Then why can't you minister in places where it's not safe? Because the thing that I read in the scripture, Paul went many places and ministered where he would go and be put in prison. You just want to go everywhere where everything is comfortable for you. I don't understand that. You say you were called to minister, then go do that. Go do that. Go minister in places and spaces where is not conventional. Who cares what the church is going to say? I'm saying this. If you were really called a minister to the world and you got saved, sure enough, and Jesus is truly down on the inside of you, Shanda Basha, if he down on the inside, if you feel it down in the city of your soul, if you got it all, and you have a relationship with the Holy Spirit, you can go into some places and spaces and not be affected. I've gone into places that, Lord, I just shake my head. Shake my head. And I just be looking around. Oh, Lord. Now, there's some things that I don't do and I don't go anymore. But I mean, I've had opportunities and I've done stuff. But you guys are killing me with your super spiritual selves. So you're going to wait for everybody to come to your church. And if the pastor is liking, my thing is this, Erica, if you see that the pastor's liking the sexy pictures, what you looking at? How you see him? How you see him? Was you on the sexy picture too? How you know he was on the sexy picture? I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question. It's like the woman who was caught in adultery. How y'all know she was in adultery? Y'all was peeking through the window. Oh, so you over there looking at everything that the preacher looking at and watching what the preacher's clicking on. Oh, okay. So here's my thing. I would invite you over to my Instagram. And I remember I did this one year, and the folks at the Church Folk Revolution got so mad at me. One day I had a whole posting session where I didn't post nothing up on my Instagram picture but big butts. I just made them all mad. I mean, Marcellus, I can't believe you posted that. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because I'm a whole grown man. That's what I like. And I love black women. So yes, indeed. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. Because y'all know our black women come in all different shapes and sizes. Mondo Boshata. And I'm going to tell you right now, if y'all keep messing with me, Erica Campbell, I'm going to go over there I'm going to find you on Instagram, and I'm going to tag you in every big butt photo that I can find. So keep up the mess and keep up trolling people and see what happened to you. Because I will tag you and drag you to the butt cheeks. I'm a tag and drag to the butt cheeks. I'm going to tag and drag to the butt cheeks. So stop it right now. I meant what I said. Y'all better stop acting like these black women ain't got no hips and lips. I'm just saying. And every man I know feels comfortable. Shoot, you don't, oh man, don't get me started. Y'all better go somewhere with this stuff. Y'all better go somewhere with this stuff. I'm sick and tired of this foolishness. I hear grown men getting up in church. I used to hear grown men sitting up talking about, oh, I never get tempted by no woman. The Lord done fix everything. I did a whole show on this on Church Folk Revolution, where people talking about Jesus is their husband. You know, you all go too far with some of this stuff. Y'all just go way too far. Just too far. Some of you are praying for God to take away, desires and things. And you better be careful what you pray for. Listen to me, be real careful, because some of you gonna need them desires. Some of you, your husband gonna be tapping you in the middle of the night, and your desire for your husband might be gone. Y'all better hear what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying, why are you praying for God to take away something that's natural for you? That's so stupid. Y'all need to stop with all of this super spiritualness. And Erica, I'm tired of you trolling people. You becoming the 50 Cent of the gospel. I'm serious. You just on Instagram and stuff and be bothering people. And I don't understand it. Preachers, just be honest. And see, this is the thing that separates me from a lot of these other folk. You're not going to get me. And I was just like this when I was in church. So don't think that I just started this once I was out of church. I would tell them folks, you can see a woman who's got a big butt and some big breasts. We can see that. I ain't blind. I ain't dead. Here's the qualifier. You need to know which big butt belongs to you, and which breasts belong to you, and which breasts don't belong to you, and which butt don't belong to you. I'm just saying. That's the qualifier. I'm just saying. My eyes is not blind. I can see clearly. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Wait a minute. When I was in church, what did I have to say? I can see all obstacles in my way. I can see everything clear. And y'all need to stop acting crazy. Y'all make me sick with this foolishness and all this extra super spiritualness. I can't take it. It just drives me crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. I appreciate all my callers. Let me see if anybody's on hold. Yeah, I got a caller on hold. Let me go to the caller. I'm sorry. I was running off at my mouth. Caller ending in 9199. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add? I'm sorry. I'm cracking my own self up. Go ahead.
Yes, and I was cracking up right along with you. Thank you for having me and not counting me out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on the Erica Campbell post. I just feel like the whole thing was just out of insecurity. Oh goodness, I have gone to a church for the first time and literally walked in and had women meeting me after service, telling me, oh, I'm gonna bring my nephew next service. Oh, I got a brother, or this, that, and other. I got a son. Just trying to line, me up to get married or to get into a relationship. And it's like, we do that. And then you have the women who trap the men into relationships. And then they go through infidelity issues like Erica has gone through. And then they're sitting back looking like, oh my goodness, I done got myself into this. And everybody hates each other. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
If you had just, taken your time and, really just got to know yourself, it would have led you down a path where it could have been a friendship that turned into a relationship that blossomed into something else.
Absolutely.
Instead of, trying to create something that's not there. And I think it's despicable. So thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you. And I really do appreciate you calling. You know what? You made me think while you were talking. I remember when Tina was going through her situation with her husband. And I'll be honest with you. When I seen the stuff that he was doing to her, I was so angry. I was so angry because I'm like, okay, this goes far beyond just cheating, right? This isn't just the regular kind of cheating. This is a habitual cheater. This is a guy who every time he get to slang it, he will slang it. You understand what I'm saying? And I saw the struggle and the agony with this lady, and she's struggling with this because of course the church is like, you can't divorce your husband, you ain't supposed to get a divorce. And people live under that stuff, and they be trying to hang on to these people. And I'm not saying she should have divorced her husband or anything like that. I'm just simply saying there was something about his character. It was his character that was getting to me. I was like, first of all, your wife is traveling. She's making the majority of the money, even though you make pretty good money playing the instruments and doing the stuff you do. Y'all make good money. So this ain't about money. You understand what I'm saying? So it ain't about the finance. So now you're cheating on this woman that had all of these children for you, and you're cheating with multiple people. I mean, one right after the other. And I'm thinking to myself, there's something here. And he needs to go see a therapist. He needs to see a counselor. And even separate from their marriage counseling, he actually has a problem. And I know a lot of people, because they put Jesus on everything. They try to pour Jesus on everything like gravy. Gravy don't go with everything. Gravy don't go with everything. Sometimes you need to go sit on somebody's couch and just go, I got some issues. And mentally, that dude got some issues. And there's some stuff that brother needs to work out. And I feel for Tina, because let me tell you something. If he doesn't do it, I would venture to say he's going to continue to cheat if he's not already cheating again.
Right. And I think that's why the love and support is so important as well for both sides. And if you don't go into a relationship with that in mind, I feel like you'll miss that, because then you won't be able to love and support that person when they need you the most. So thank you for having the conversation. You're a blessing as always.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And even as a saved man, I just want to say, and I'm going to end my comments, and I know I might be making some of y'all uncomfortable. Let me tell y'all something. As a saved man, every now and then you want your wife to put on an outfit that reminds you of what the scripture meant when the Bible says, and he knew her. So you want her to put on an outfit that draws up all sorts of attention, that makes you stand at attention and just salute. Hondo Bosha. Every now and then, I don't care how saved you are. You don't want your wife always looking like, she about to go, onto some usher board meeting. You understand what I'm saying? And see, I don't know what kind of men these people are dealing with. I don't know what kind of, listen, ladies, if you meet a man that's so saved that he don't ever come to you and say, hey, babe, I need you to make sure that the girlfriends is perched up tight tonight, poking out, saluting me, and we're going to go out on a night on the town, and ain't going to be no Bible verses. Ain't going to be no Bible verses. Now, this is kind of real talk. I'm just saying, I'm just talking real. There ain't gonna be no Bible verses. We ain't Only Bible verse we gonna deal with is the one when we come home, and the scripture says, and he knew her. That's the Bible verse that's gonna be our theme for the night. Y'all need to stop playing all of these games and stop creating these environments and stuff in the church, because this is what creates a lot of mess. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. We're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. Please make sure that you hit the like button on your way out. Please make sure that in about 10 more minutes that you come back to the Mad Church Disease channel, because I am going to be posting a video. It's already ready to be posted. I might even post it within the next 5 to 7 minutes. I want you to hear the response of Marvin Winans' armor bearer and some of the things that he had to say. And I'm going to give you guys some video of the building that Marvin Winans, because I told y'all I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. I'm going to let y'all see the building. I'm going to let y'all see what's around the building. And I have video of the inside of the building, but I'm not going to show that right now. I'm going to let y'all see some of the stuff but I always kind of keep a little bit back into my pocket. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all, all of the folks that have Cash App me tonight. Thank y'all so much for your support. Let me roll over to this here because I want to acknowledge you all. I always like doing that. And sometimes this thing just does not work. And I'm like, why isn't this thing telling me that you guys have done something? But let me just thank Bobby. I want to thank you so much for your support. Bobby, who was supporting the program by Cash App. Thank you so much. All of you that are purchasing a membership or you're going to purchase a membership, I appreciate it. Understand. Eventually, I want to bring a blog into the Mad Church Disease family. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of articles and a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to hire some writers and some people. So all of your support really does help me. And so for those of you that haven't purchased a membership yet, will you please consider doing so? It's going to help me expand the show. Please, if you're watching this on Facebook, please make sure you share it. If you have social media, if you could share out the broadcast to all of your friends, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Cause I know some of y'all be like, I don't want nobody to know I be watching the Mad Church. It's okay. Let folks come in on the conversation. We just talking, and I know some people just don't understand, but the more they come over here and the more they listen, I'm sure they will understand that I'm not an evil man. I don't have some sort of diabolical plan, and I ain't trying to ruin people's lives. I'm just trying to have a whole conversation. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. We just talking. So thank y'all so much for your love and support. If you are looking to if you're going to be getting into the YouTube course, I'm going to try to repost this link here. If you're interested in learning how to start a YouTube channel, how to grow a YouTube channel, etc., I'm going to give you a free lesson on search engine optimization and how to maximize. I'm going to give you 15 things that you can do to increase the views and stuff on your YouTube channel and help you out. And that's free of charge. All you got to do is go to the page I just posted in there and watch the hour and 30-minute lesson that I give on that, and it'll help you. Please make sure that you hit the like button on your way out. I had over 400 or so folks watching this live at one point. So I would hope you guys would do me the awesome favor of hitting the like button on your way out. To the awesome moderators, thank you guys so very much for all of your love and support and your faithfulness in this here chat. I realize I don't always pay attention to the chat, as y'all know, because it's distracting for me. And I always want to get out all of my stories. Thank y'all so much. And to all of the callers who called in here tonight, you guys really touched my heart. I have to be honest with you guys. Really touched my heart on tonight. And I really do appreciate your love and support. Thank y'all so very much. And let me just tell you, I'm going to keep my show here on Thursday, and I'm just going to keep dropping videos on the channel. So if you're not a subscriber, you will not know that on Sunday I've already scheduled a video. All next week I'm going to be dropping videos and commentary on some stuff that's going on in the world, and y'all need to get those videos. And I'm going to try to make those videos so they're not too long, but I promise you I will keep those videos interesting, and I will always have something for you guys. So just make sure that you watch it. To my members, I'm going to have some members only chats and things with you guys very, very soon. They will be private, and we're going to be talking about some stuff in the Las Vegas stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff for the members only. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all so very much. God bless y'all, and I'll see you guys on the very next episode of the Mad Church Disease Podcast. Love ya. Bye.
You've been listening to the Mad Church Disease Podcast. Visit us online or on our Facebook page at Mad Church Disease.